It's time for a midweek mini, and today we are starting back the summer road trip series. If you are new here, we are Wonderland on Points, presented by Yahoo Travel, and we are excited to highlight some domestic locations. We are going to share spots that listeners have nominated, filled out forms to tell us about places that they have been on vacation or that they live in, which is really cool about this first destination. And we're so excited to share some domestic trips with you guys because it doesn't always have to be international travel. Points and miles means exploring this great country of ours.
Yes, and there are so many spots that truly nobody thinks of. There are many places that people put on their bucket lists and dream about for years, whatever. You want to go to the big cities and see the iconic places, but there are so many little places scattered across this country that make the most epic trips. That's how I discovered Bentonville, Arkansas last year was one of these submissions. And so today we are digging into a submission from one of our listeners, Becca, shout out Becca, who nominated Dayton, Ohio. And I love this one personally as a Midwesterner. This is an under 6-hour drive for me. So this is a great option for those of you in the Midwest. I'm excited to dig into this because she has really given us all the details. It was a very thorough submission. Excellent job, Becca.
Yeah, and Becca is a local, which I love even more that she's so proud of the place that she lives that she wants to share about it. And for me, I'm an East Coast girly, and I think a lot of us, and I could be wrong, but there are a lot of people that when we think of travel destinations, we think up and down the East Coast, or we think up and down the West Coast, or we sometimes overlook great places in the Midwest. And so I think it's really fun to highlight somewhere that maybe would not normally be on people's travel lists. So this is really cool. Dayton, Ohio is where we're headed today. And Becca has given us so many fun reasons why you should visit it.
Yeah. So in a few sentences, she says, why should people visit? Well, it's the birthplace of the Wright brothers, which is very interesting. And it is the home of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, along with the Air Force Museum, which is interesting. So those are a few, I guess, things that claims to fame, you could say, for Dayton, Ohio.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Do people from Ohio have beef with people from North Carolina? Because I'm pretty sure on the license plates in North Carolina, it says things like the first in flight because of the Wright brothers. Maybe did they fly from North Carolina? Am I completely off about this, guys? I'm pretty sure North Carolina is all about the Wright brothers and first in flight. Yet you guys in Ohio are the birthplace of the Wright brothers and have, a museum and all of this stuff. So just saying, I don't know if outside of sports teams, if there is also some beef over all of this Wright brothers stuff.
Okay, well, oddly enough, Wilbur and Orville Wright were born in two different locations. Wilbur was born in Indiana, but Orville was born in Dayton, Ohio. So they do have a birthplace museum in Indiana. So I guess there are claims to fame for the Wright brothers all over the place, but you are right. They took off from Kitty Hawk, and that was North Carolina. So maybe there is some secret beef.
They get around these Wright brothers.
They get around,
Especially for back then.
Well, right. I mean, if you're kind of responsible for flight in general, I would say you're quite good at getting around. Okay, so as far as lodging and booking on Points, so she lives here, but she knows a lot about the area. She said they have every chain but Hyatt, which, we actually love branching outside of Hyatt, especially recently with a lot of the changes. But she said if you wanted a Hyatt, you could do Columbus or Cincinnati and make a day trip to Dayton. But she said her husband and I have used Hilton points to stay at the Hilton Garden Inn in downtown, and it's connected to a really beautiful old building called the Dayton Arcade, and that sounds super magical for me. And then what I really like out of what she put on here is there's a beautiful hotel in Yellow Springs, Ohio called the Mills Park Hotel. She says it's about 20 minutes from Dayton, and Yellow Springs is a really fun town to visit, known for being a hippie town where Dave Chappelle lives, which is awesome.
Those two things don't seem to go together.
They don't go together at all, but I would 100% visit this. This sounds really, really fun. She said it would be a great home base while visiting Dayton. And nearby there are two things, Pfeiffer Orchards and Young Jersey Dairy, that you can visit while you're over that direction. So she gives us a couple options, one for about 20 minutes outside of Dayton, one for downtown Dayton. Great places to start when building your itinerary.
Yes. And Becca also says that the best time to visit is definitely anytime spring through fall can all be really, really lovely. And then as a local, she knows the real places to stop and get food. So I really trust these recommendations, Becca.
Hmm.
Marion's Pizza is a favorite of the locals. Also, Esther Price chocolates are a local Dayton favorite and have multiple stores in the area. So if you see Esther Price chocolates, it's a good place to stop. Grater's Ice Cream is a local Cincinnati favorite, and Cincinnati style chili. I didn't know Cincinnati had a
Their
famous chili
their own
style.
chili style. Yeah, I know nothing
Yeah,
about
who
this.
knew? It's a fast food restaurant called Skyline that I think has the good ice cream that's the Cincinnati favorite and the chili. So Skyline is a restaurant, if you go there, that's definitely worth checking out.
Okay, so we also asked people who submit these, which, by the way, guys, we are still taking submissions. Maybe we will go a little bit past the summer with some of these since we got started a little late due to our travel schedules and all the news lately. We've really needed to bring you the news, so we delayed our road trip minis. But please do head to the link in the show notes and submit these if you have any great ideas. Next, we ask about can't miss activities. So she says Carillon Historical Park is fantastic for kids and adults. The National Park Service has a Wright Brothers Museum on site with an original Wright Brothers plane, which is very cool. Two different train rides.
Love
A
that.
very Yeah, I love that too. That's so fun, especially for your kiddos. Particularly your train lover. She said it's 60 something acres, and there's so many fun things to learn and explore. There's a carousel ride inside with tube slides that go down the hill, which I love that kind of stuff where it's kind of built into the landscape. And then there's a separate Wright Brothers Museum that's not on Carillon Park's campus, so you can go there as well. And she said she's lived there for a while, but she's actually never been to that particular museum, but she's heard great things. Air Force Museum is free. It's massive. You can see planes from the Wright brothers. You
They're
can see
really leaning into this one Wright brother that was
They
born there.
really, they really are. And you can see planes from their era all the way to modern
I do love
day.
that though, because my
Yeah.
son, as I've mentioned, he's getting so into planes and thinks that he wants a career,
Oh,
in
wow.
aviation in some form. So this actually could be really clutch for our next little mother-son weekend.
It does sound very cool. Space shuttles that NASA has used and Air Force One planes on site is crazy. That's
Yeah,
why
that's
they
awesome.
have apparently the Air Force One plane that Lyndon B. Johnson was sworn into the presidency after the JFK assassination. Like they have that plane there. That's wild.
Well, and she even shared that Franklin Roosevelt's plane that he used during World War II. I'm a big World War II. I love all of that history. I wouldn't call me a history buff because I'm actually not that smart, but I do find it very interesting and like seeing those things. So that all sounds very cool. And that museum is free, which is awesome. I love a
So
free
amazing.
museum.
Me too. Yeah. Then there's the Boonshoft Museum of Discovery. That's for kids. If you are a member of a different children's museum, you can get in for 50% off with the reciprocity program. That's a thing that you can find all over the country. So definitely be Googling. Sometimes if you are a member of like
Yeah,
the St. Louis
aquariums.
Science Center or something, you can get into other museums at a discount. So if you are a member somewhere, make sure you are looking before you're visiting museums to see if you can get a discount. They have a minor league baseball team, the Dayton Dragons, that play downtown. Those games sound like a lot of fun. And 30 minutes away, you can visit Springfield, Ohio, which has a house that was designed by the famous architect Frank Lloyd Wright.
I have some friends that are really into that. They love seeing a Frank Lloyd Wright house. I mean, that
It's
is the
so funny.
thing that
It's a
people
thing for
go
people.
specifically to see. Now, book lovers out there,
It's
I
me.
know that there are many book lovers, Joanna being one of them. And I'm Becca, you must be a book lover to recommend this. So she says there is a hole in the wall place, which who doesn't love stumbling across a hole in the wall when you're traveling, called the Dollar Book Swamp. Massive collection of books, only like $1.25 each. It used to be $1, but like the Dollar Tree,
Dollar
all
Tree.
good things have come to an end. Now it's the $1.25 swap. And sometimes you can literally find a book that, brand new with Target sticker still on it that cost you, $25 if you were buying it brand new for $1.25. So that's a really fun little whole. I know somebody who's an author, Weird Space. Let me shout it out. Or if you like horror, A.M. Wiley, look up his books. They're all on Amazon. He's a good friend of mine. He would love this. He always on his Instagram highlights, book shops and things that we find. So cool mention, Becca.
Yeah, this would be problematic for me. I would come home with a large stack. I already have nowhere to store. I
You
one
got to
day
make sure you have a
dreamed.
free baggage on Southwest for that one.
Well, I would be driving, but I one day dream of floor to ceiling bookshelves where I can actually display all of the books that I own. But right now they live in tubs in my basement because there is no spot for them in this house. Someday. Apparently, there's also an art museum in Dayton that's very nice. We asked if anything about this location is surprising, and she said they have an absolutely fantastic metro park system. So tons of beautiful parks with nature playscapes for kids. I love a nature playscape.
Sounds so delightful, guys.
It
Have we been
does.
sleeping on Dayton, Ohio? I had no idea.
This is why this series is my favorite. We learned so many places last year that blew my mind and have expanded my road trip bucket list. I love this because these hidden gems exist everywhere, and it's places that you don't really think of. Like, I want to go to Ohio for the week. Wait, all right. I'm not discounting Ohio. No, there's lots of great places in Ohio, but a lot of times we're talking Europe or, these epic
beaches,
destinations. Yeah. And I just love this stuff. This is really
small town USA.
Small town USA.
Dayton, Ohio, Tourism Board. If you want to reach out, we will come and show the people.
We absolutely will. We'll do a full deep dive. I'm feeling very nostalgic about Small Town USA as we approach this 250th anniversary here in 2 days.
That is right.
As we are recording.
We have a great country. We forget sometimes. I love all of watching the World Cup, all those reels of people. It's emotional. All these people from across the world who are experiencing the U.S. for the first time, and all they see is we are more than whatever the news puts out there, whatever the political landscape puts out there at any given time, to the rest of the world. And they're all experiencing America and realizing, oh, wow, people are so friendly, things are good and they're fun and there's free refills and there's air conditioning. And
there is
a lot of magical things.
I know. It is really exciting to see it through their eyes because sometimes, it can just feel defeating the way it's represented over and over and over again. But man, there is some real good here. And the small town USA, the towns that you never think of that we get to hear about on the podcast during this series, makes me feel all warm and fuzzy and tingly inside for sure.
It's so true. Becca also recommends the 2nd Street Farmers Market. It's close to downtown Dayton, and I think it's usually like Thursday through Sunday kind of vibes on the weekends. It's run by that large metro park service. So farmers markets are so cool. It's really neat when you're traveling. You maybe don't have as much time, but if you're there for a couple days, maybe you can enjoy a farmers market. It's nice for a local craft.
Yeah.
You're not buying a lot of groceries maybe, but to find local artisans, I really like farmers markets for that.
Me too. And like lunch, you can usually get like a great lunch item at a farmer's market that you can eat on the spot, and it's always amazing. Food trucks. Oh, love that vibe. Love that vibe. She says there's 2 small water parks in the area during the summer, the Kettering Rec Center and the YMCA at the Heights. You can get daily admission into those. Maybe on a hot day, that's a good option. And she says they're about 50 minutes away from Kings Island, which is an amusement park in the Cincinnati area. And they're basically in between Cincinnati and Columbus, like an hour on each side to each of those. So those are fun cities to visit as well that have cool things to explore. So you could probably bundle like a 3-in-1 trip if you wanted to.
Yeah. Becca, thank you so much for sharing about Dayton. I appreciate that you love your home so much that you think other people should visit. So if anybody is listening and wants a fun domestic adventure, Dayton, Ohio, look it up. And Becca, I'm pretty sure you are joining us in Albuquerque in April on our girls trip meetup. So we can't wait to meet you in person and hang out together in Albuquerque. If any other ladies out there want to join us on a girls trip, see if there are still some points rooms available at the Hyatt Regency Tamaya in Albuquerque, and we would absolutely love to hang out with you, spend a couple days, just girls who love points and miles and love to travel and riding horses and going up in a hot air balloon, and we can't do that. Can't wait to do that with Becca and hopefully with some of you guys listening.
Yep. Application is down below. It's not really an application, guys. It's more like a form, but please fill it out if you are seriously considering coming on this trip. It is April 7th through the 10th of next year. So if you think that would be an option for you, we would love to give you more information on that. We are so excited about it. Thank you for this very first midweek mini summer road trip submission. And we can't wait to see what else you guys submit. We've got some more coming for you in the coming weeks. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for joining us for today's episode. We hope you learned something new and feel inspired to plan your next trip.
Remember, we're travelers sharing our experiences, not financial advisors, so always do your own research and make informed decisions.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow so you never miss a Points and Miles tip.
We'll see you next time on Wonderland on Points.